You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you? I own the Happy Mask Shop. I travel far and wide in search of masks.
Hey guys, this is Maikeru here, and I'm here today to start a new series which I like to call How Would They Play? Now, this is specifically going to be a Hyrule Warriors or Dynasty Warriors or Pirate Warriors sort of thing, so I'm calling it How Would They Play, but I was thinking about calling it How Would They Fight, but there is potential for this to maybe come up with a different kind of series later on, although it looks more like this will be more of a Warriors thing because I see arguments from people on the internet basically saying that this character cannot fight because there's no way they could fight. What I'm basically doing with these videos is debunking those arguments and giving you ideas on how these characters can fight. For my very first episode, as you can probably notice by the title, I'm going to be talking about how the Happy Mask Salesman could fight in Hyrule Warriors. When people talk about the Happy Mask Salesman being a potential character in the Hyrule Warriors game, what they basically have in mind is that he will use his mask to turn into different sort of things like the Deku Scrub or Zora or something like that and use abilities like that. But I'm going to say something different and says that he actually uses the spirits or the souls of those masks instead. Not only would this allow him to have transformations, but it would also allow him to even further expand his moveset. As with the spirits or souls, he could expand the spirits or souls of those masks and maybe make some sort of like string type things and basically kind of telekinetically control those masks so that they would strike all around him. And this could be used in various ways for combos. Maybe using some of these combos actually would allow him to transform. Maybe when he puts on the Deku Scrub, he has more of a spinning like attack, or maybe he gets smaller and or harder to hit or something like that as a Deku Scrub. Maybe as he puts on the Zoro mask, his combos will be more about speed and martial arts and things like that, but he's still using those masks as sort of like a, if any of you have seen Naruto and One Piece, think of like Kakuzu from the Akatsuki or Doflamingo, how Doflamingo uses his strings, because Kakuzu, I was thinking like how he uses his weird mask things on his back and those big black stuff that comes out, but more with the strings of Doflamingo, and basically they just swing around him, smacking into people and everything. Now, when he goes into his Musou attack, what he basically does is open his eyes, because he's going to fight mostly with his eyes closed, because that's how the Happy Mask Salesman does. But when he opens his eyes, you know he's serious. For a short time, he petrifies everyone within his range. Next, when he gets into that mode, his attacks basically just speed up, and they get more powerful, because this is kind of how a lot of Dynasty Warriors and, with the Pirate Warriors games, they did something like this. So that's how he would work, and maybe he would add on a few more combos that you wouldn't get in his regular mode. When he actually goes and does his special in the Musou mode, it would basically be where he basically lifts all of his masks into the air with these sort of spirit strings and has them slam onto the ground into all the enemies either around him or just in front of him. I'm not entirely sure how they would do it, but it would be something kind of like that. Now, onto his specials in his regular mode. In Pirate Warriors 2, they had 2 specials, so I'm coming up with ideas for 2 specials. The first idea here is that he basically, when he goes to perform his 1-bar special, he puts his hand on his chin and basically looks like he's thinking for a second, and then he smiles. He shoots up through all of the enemies and places blast masks on the faces of anyone within a certain range of him. And then when he passes them, he snaps his fingers, and boom, they all blow up. That's how it works. Now for his 2-bar special though, what he basically does is break the barrier of space and performs an attack where he draws his organ from the Majora's Mask and has it appear on the battlefield in front of him. He sits at the organ and plays it, and as he's playing it, he's commanding the mask to move in different areas. Now, this could just be an automatic thing, or they could actually do something where you can control the way the masks move, and his organ would change the way it plays depending on how you make them move. But basically, after all of this is done, after say about 5 seconds, he plays one note and everything on the battlefield just explodes. There's a lot of explosions here, but he's basically going to be smacking into people and all this stuff, and the organ at that point blows them all away. Yeah, this is basically what I think of for the Happy Mask Salesman. They could expand on it, maybe, but I just think that this would be a really cool way to use it. Instead of making him use masks, to just have him use the souls of the masks, which opens up more potential for his moveset. And to mention with the organ, basically the organ is controlling the souls and telling what to do. I think I might have mentioned that already, but that's just the way I have it playing out in my head. So, yeah, there we go. That's the Happy Mask Salesman. So what do you think of my ideas for the Happy Mask Salesman? Remember, this is the first episode. I want to start off with something big, something where people might not be able to think so much about how this character would play. And Happy Mask Salesman was the first one that came to mind, because he's a very popular character, but few people really have an idea of how he would fight outside of transformations. I could come up with probably a complete moveset for him, really, combining transformation and combos together, but this is really just what I had in mind. This is a basic idea of what I was thinking about, and a lot of really just came to me. So I just think this would be how he could fight and do more than just transform, basically. So yeah, leave your comments and subscribe to me if you are interested in seeing more of these videos, because I do plan on doing some more of these. The next one I'm thinking of doing is probably the Skull Kid, because I have some ideas for him too, and he might actually have 2 weapons when I talk about him. So there's something to look forward to. And with that, I've been Maikeru. Leave some comments about who you might want to see below, and I will eventually get to them, though there's a couple specific characters that I want to get through first. And thank you for watching, and have a nice day.
You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you? I own the Happy Mask Shop. I travel far and wide in search of masks. During my travels, a very important mask was stolen from me by an imp in the woods. So here I am at a loss. And now I found you. Now, don't think me rude, but I have been following you. For I know a way to return you to your former self. If you can get back the precious item that was stolen from you, I will return you to normal. In exchange, all I ask is that you also get back my precious mask that the imp stole from me. What? Is that not a simple task?